You were born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Kensington area, a place full of crime, drugs, prostitution. Your father was a drug addict, often beating your mother. Your mother? She was a bitch, also addicted to drugs like your father, and you were nothing more than the result of one fleeting moment of pleasure between them. You had no toys, no birthday cakes, but you had a dog named Buddy. He and you were partners who often went stealing to get food. He was your best friend. You confided in him, shared with him every day, because he was the only one who listened and cared about you. Next to your house was a fairly well-off family. Your neighbor was a little girl 1 year younger than you. Her family was quite happy, her parents had stable jobs and always cared for and loved her, which made you very jealous. You also wanted a life like that. You were not allowed to go to school. The kids in the neighborhood avoided you. They often laughed and mocked you. You were very sad and felt inferior. One time, a boy threw a can at your head. You felt pain and discomfort. You got angry and rushed to hit him. That boy fell to the ground, angrily called more friends to come beat you. They left. You were in pain with many injuries, a bruised, bleeding. On your way home, bruised and humiliated, you walked alone, quietly sobbing to yourself. You sat in a small corner. Suddenly, a gentle voice spoke.
Are you okay?
A strangely gentle voice. You looked up. It was the neighbor girl. She asked about you, held out a Band-Aid, and stuck it on the wound on your knee. For the first time, you felt care, concern, and attention from another person. You were extremely touched. The girl sat next to you, smiled innocently. Your cheeks blushed. She introduced herself as Emily and really wanted to be friends with you. You were very happy that someone wanted to be your friend. From that day, you and Emily became close friends. The two of you often played with Buddy on the streets, played in the park near your house, together hiding under a tree so peaceful. One afternoon, while playing near home, her mother called her in, forbade her from playing with you because your parents were not decent people. She stepped inside and the door slammed shut. You froze, then lowered your head and left in silence. Wandering the street, weighed down by sadness and shame, you wanted to cry. None of this was your fault, yet because of the mistakes of adults, you were the one who had to suffer. You kept waiting for her to come outside to play, from day 1 to day 2 to day 3, until one day you saw a big truck. Her parents were moving things onto the truck. They were preparing to move away. She also saw you. She ran over, said her family was moving to another place to live. She gave you a small, beautiful bracelet. She got into the car and left. The car gradually went far away. You looked at her through the window. She also looked at you and waved goodbye. You stood still for a long time and then left. That night, you went home after having food. Your parents quarreled again. They fought over something you didn't know. Your father hit your mother. Buddy saw that and barked loudly, rushed to stop it. The glass bottle on the table. Your father grabbed it and smashed the bottle down on Buddy's head, killing him instantly. He lay on the ground in a pool of blood and gradually stopped moving. You looked at him for a long time, ignoring the two who were arguing. You felt they didn't care for or take care of you anyway. Buddy, the only one keeping you in this house, was dead. You sadly left home. The months after, you lived like a homeless person. You slept under a bridge. Food was scavenged in many places. You did heavy labor to earn money, sometimes stealing to survive. Many times you were caught and beaten. But you got used to this life, doing everything to survive each day. Every night, lying in a corner, you still held the bracelet and looked at it, hoping one day to see the girl again. One freezing evening, after a long day with nothing to eat, you curled up in a corner. Then a man approached and handed you a loaf of bread. A rough-looking man, yet gentle and kind, in the way he looked at you. His name was Mike, a delivery man here. He invited you to work together. You agreed immediately because you needed a job to have a place to stay and money to buy food. You were taken to a small house. Where many other people gathered, they looked quite normal. While talking with them, you learned their situations were much like yours. You felt accepted for the first time. To blend in with someone, you felt very happy. They invited you to try some powder. You didn't even know what it was. You tried and felt so good, enjoyable. And you fell asleep. The first time you slept like that. The next day, you were guided by those people to deliver the powder bags. You had to be sneaky, avoid the police, act quietly to not be detected, make transactions, selling that powder. You learned it was drugs. Months later, you delivered many orders successfully. You were paid a sum of money. It was enough to rent a new room. You felt at peace with this life. After all, you weren't hurting anyone, just working to survive. One day, Mike took you on a big job. You carried a suitcase full of small crystal bags to the meeting point. Arriving, you saw two big guys waiting. They told you to hand over the suitcase to check. You gave them. Suddenly, they pulled out knives to threaten. They wanted to steal the suitcase. Seeing the two trying to take the goods without paying, Mike's eyes turned cold. He pulled out a gun, his eyes sharp and merciless, filled with killing intent. And then he shot the bigger man in the head. A straight shot to the head of the big guy. Blood sprayed everywhere, onto your face. The other ran away. You trembled, lips shaking. Terrified, Mike coldly told you to run before the police came. You ran in panic, in your head still thinking about the shooting. Back to your rented room, locking the door. Into the bathroom. You vomited, still unable to calm down. You were scared, horrified by the scene of the kind man who once saved you, the one you looked up to like a brother. Now you watched him kill without hesitation. He seemed to have no humanity left. You widened your eyes, lost control, saw the bag of drugs on the table, grabbed it, swallowed a few pills to calm down. You told yourself you couldn't keep doing this job. You weren't like them. Then you fell asleep. The next afternoon, you went out to buy food. Suddenly, you met a girl, a familiar face opposite you, still the same eyes. She looked at you. You still recognized her. The neighbor girl from before, the girl from back then, now grown, very beautiful, a gentle and kind beauty. You froze, your face flushed, and you realized you had feelings for her. Emily also recognized you, surprised you still had the bracelet she gave you before. Emily invited you to the park to talk. Sitting next to her, you felt a strange peace. The two of you talked happily, shared about the beautiful years. Emily introduced herself as a volunteer helping drug addicts recover. You also told her you had been involved with it. She didn't hate you, held your hand. She encouraged you, promised to help you quit drugs for a better life. You agreed, and that gave you more reasons to give up drug trafficking. Everything seemed to return to that moment. The first moment you met her in that small corner. The moment you were saved. Perhaps this was the most peaceful feeling since she left. And for a while you dreamed of a bright future. That night you took her home. On the way you talked happily about everything, about each other's lives. You were happy because after so many years, you finally met again the kind girl from before. Suddenly from afar, someone was watching you. He pulled out a newly obtained gun, and then the gun fired. The bullet cutting through the air straight at you. Time seemed to freeze. But in that split second, she leapt forward, shielding you. The shot hit her instead. The gunshot froze you. She collapsed in your arms, telling you to live well, that she hoped you would have a better life. You were in pain. Collapsed holding her, crying, the pain tearing the sky apart. The sound of police sirens came. An ambulance came to take her away. The man had fled. You stood watching her being taken into the emergency room. You sat down helplessly on a chair, holding your head and telling yourself everything would be fine. A few hours later, the doctor came out, his face heavy, and told you Emily was gone. On TV, they reported that the man who had shot the girl had been arrested. It was him, the one who had come for the drugs, partner of the big guy Mike had gunned down. Even more painful to know, he only came to take revenge on you. You regretted that just because of you, that girl had to leave forever. When you got home, you felt like a dead person, crying, desperate, not wanting to live anymore, and took a heavy dose of drugs. You injected it straight into yourself. The high hit immediately. You closed your eyes and fell asleep. When you opened your eyes, you saw the familiar park. Emily was standing in front of you. Your hand was holding a very cute child. Maybe here you and Emily had a child. Buddy was running ahead, no longer small as before. You and they walked together in a park, the very park where you used to play with Emily and Buddy. It seemed you had a complete happy family, the thing you always wished for. But my friend, you were already dead. The above story is completely fictional and only reflects a part of the current drug addiction. This is my first video, so there are still many mistakes. Thank you for watching. If you like it, please like and subscribe to the channel.